we go to the beach for a week every year and usually invite you down to go fishing with me one of the days. And that day you wanted to go night fishing.
Yeah. Catch the big lunkers. And when he says night fishing, that's like from 7 o'clock in the evening till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. We're fishing with the drone. We'd fly the bait out there, drop it, and fly the drone back, and it would land. And it started getting dark, and along around, I guess it was 11 o'clock, a storm set in. And I mean, we're talking like gale force winds. I mean, I put on a tarp, right? And as soon as it kicks in, my fishing pole just doubles over, right? And so I grab my fishing pole, and I know I've got something huge on this. So I'm just like the best I've ever been. Even though the rain's going sideways, it's almost midnight. It's taking me like 20 minutes to get this shark in. And so I get the shark in, and like I said, I'm happy, I'm in my groove. Ward's not so happy, yet still caught a fish. And we bait everything up, and we fly the bait back out. And on the last trip I flew my bait out, it was either water or something got in the controller, but the drone went out there a long way, at least 100 yards. I mean,
it was a couple hundred yards.
Couple hundred yards. And it dropped the bait, and then the drone set down in the water. And keep in mind, I was fully clothed, right? I had steel toe boots on, I had camis on, shirt, full gear. And I panicked, and I picked up, I had a shop light, a Cobalt shop light, which is the kind you have in your garage, right? It's just got a battery on it. And I turned it on, and I just immediately went out to the water, and I started swimming. And I swam, and it didn't seem like the lights were getting any closer, right? And it was a little ways out there, quite a ways out there, and I realized I'm not going to get to the drone. I mean, there's no way I'm going to get this thing. And I figured I've hit the point, the halfway point. I got to swim back. Well, fog started settling in. I was right after the rain, and I still got this flashlight in my hand, and the flashlight's still on and bright. And so I start swimming back. And we had just finished the ebb tide. What that means is the tide now is starting to come in. And so the water was flowing down through the channel. And so when I'm swimming back, now I'm fighting this current. It got to the point where I was becoming fatigued. My breaths were getting shorter. I was aspirating a bit of water. And so I had to go, tread water. So I went on my back, right? And said, okay, I'll just kind of backstroke it in. It was several more minutes, and I just wasn't making any ground. It was like a wet log with little flippers. And keep in mind, I still got this flashlight in my hand. I'm trying to swim. I got a flashlight in one hand and my dad's ball cap in the other, right? And I'm trying to tread water, swim backwards. I can't see where I'm going, and I can hear people yelling. Can't really make out what they're saying. I remember thinking to myself, nobody's going to get here in time. I waited too late to even yell for help. And I was already starting to go down underwater, and there's nothing I can do about it. I'm going to die. And as soon as I went underwater, I maybe got 6 inches under, I felt somebody's hand reach on the back of my neck, and it lifted me up so slow. And the words, he was so calm when he said, "I've got you, you're going to be okay." And he gave me something to grab onto, which was all I could do. I was so weak, I could barely grab onto it. It was a fishing tackle bag or something.
Yeah, it was a backpack, just a normal backpack that he dumped everything out onto the sand and kind of like tried to fill it with air and zip it closed.
And I grabbed onto it, but I'll never forget, I looked at him, just so calm, right? And he lifted me out of the water, and he swam me back. I couldn't walk. When we got close enough to the shore, you came out.
I was neck deep. Yeah, and as soon as you got close enough, I helped carry you in.
I had no idea who the guy was. I mean, I know I thanked him, but as quick as he came, he left.
But he was fishing too.
Yeah.
That's why he was there. They were fishing, I don't know, 30 yards down the beach from us. Yeah.
I looked at Ward, right, and obviously I thought, I think it's time we probably go. You know, and it was a real struggle just getting back, probably get 10 feet, and I had to stop. As soon as we started heading back, the flashlight died and has never come alive since then. Both the flashlight, the battery, everything died. Right, it stayed lit the whole time I was out there and the whole time I came back. And I remember you saying if it wasn't for the light, they would have had a hard time even seeing me.
Yeah. Yeah, so a few days later, I mean, we'd been talking on and off. I think the words that I used were, you should come to church and thank God with the rest of us. That's what I said.
It's just too much coincidence. I mean, you being in my life, putting up with me before.
From my perspective, I didn't do anything special. I was just your friend, and then I invited you to church. That's all I did.
But seeing it from my perspective, you were my only friend. Because I don't make friends. I didn't make friends before. And so as soon as I entered the church, I did feel different. I felt really vulnerable in a way. The sermon was like, it hit me. I can't remember what the sermon was, but something about it hit me. But at this point, I've got tears coming out because I can't deny these sequence of things. It's too coincidental. You know, in my whole life, I don't cry, right? I don't show those type of emotions, especially around people. I became the biggest crybaby I've ever known. When I was baptized, when I went into the church before baptism, you know, and the fact that you said they were doing baptisms that day, and it was just like so much emotion, so much happened so quickly. It wasn't that I was sad and crying, I was just emotionally overwhelmed. I felt the Spirit of the Lord. I felt something I never felt before, ever felt. I mean, I felt like God had me on either side of my arm and was placing me, not giving me a choice, saying, I'm going to put these things in front of you. You can't go to the right, you can't go to the left. You're going to go straight down the middle, right where I put you. And I remember being baptized and Pastor Chris praying. And I do remember coming out of the water. It felt like so much was taken off of me. I think my wife would even attest that the man that she knew did die on that beach. I haven't been, and I can tell myself, I'm not the same man that I used to be. You know, everything that happened, you know, the drowning, the saving, was a miracle, but I can tell you this with all my heart, with all my soul, that it's been the least of all the miracles that God has given me since that day. And again, I can't look at the day of drowning. I can look at it as the day I died of my old self, but I can't look at it as the biggest miracle of all, because I'm still here, right? This is 8 months later, and I feel closer to the Lord than I felt when I was baptized. When I first came back to Him. And every day I feel closer. I don't know how that's possible. It just is.